Mic check, 1, 2. Welcome back to Sunrise. Well, Mother's Day might be over, but there's a heated debate happening online after a mom got upset when her son chose to spend the day with his wife instead of her. Oh. Check this one out.
Okay.
Am I wrong for feeling a new level of hate for my daughter-in-law? I'm a 60-year-old mom of 3 adult children, and for over 20 years, I've hosted a Mother's Day lunch at my house. It's a tradition. My kids bring flowers, we eat, we laugh, and I get to spend time with the people that I raised. It means everything to me. This year, my oldest son, Ben, called and said he would not be coming. He said he was spending the day with his wife, Rachel, and their kids. Apparently, she asked for a quiet day at home, breakfast in bed, no visitors, and no driving. I was stunned. I couldn't believe she convinced my son to skip the lunch entirely, not even stopping by, not even for an hour. I said, Rachel is not your mother, and this day is not about her. She gets a birthday, she gets anniversaries. Can I have my one day? I told him I felt like he was choosing her over his own mother. He said Rachel's been stressed with the kids and that this is the only thing that she wanted. I get that, but why does her day dictate what happens with me and my son? He offered to call me and maybe come by later in the week, and I told him that was not the same. So I texted his wife and said, listen, I know you lost your mom 5 years ago.
Oh,
so maybe you don't understand how much
into this.
Yeah. So maybe you don't understand how much these traditions matter, but they matter.
Well, that's a very messed up way of saying that, but okay.
Now he's
I know your mom's dead, so you probably don't get it. Well, I had a mom and I do get it, so yeah.
Yeah. Now he's not speaking to me, and I'm questioning everything. Maybe I was being a bit too old-fashioned. Maybe I'm holding on too tightly. But it really hurts me that he forgot about his own mother on Mother's Day. Am I wrong?
No. First of all, you're not being old-fashioned.
It's not old-fashioned. You're just wrong. You're
downright insensitive.
You're wrong on so many levels. I saw it and I said, no, man, we need to talk about this. You know, I really appreciate my mother and how she is, because she's not this.
Thank God for that.
Look, people need to understand that when you have your family, you have your family.
Correct.
And guess what? You begin to make traditions for your family.
Correct.
That the Bible says you leave and you go and you cleave to your wife.
Correct.
And so that kind of a almost toxic relationship that she wants to maintain with her.
Not almost.
Yeah, that toxic relationship that she wants to maintain with her children. That was her day, and for 20 years she has gotten her way. But that is your tradition. This is a woman who has 3 children for him. And then, it's a toxic relationship between her and her children, because she felt that she was able to call the woman
out of line.
And then, on top of it, points out that your mother died 5 years ago.
Insensitive.
Then, and it's not like, okay, she doesn't have any children for you, so she's not a mother. So she has 3 kids. 3 kids for you.
Which means now, then, that she's now going to create her own traditions with her 3 children, just like you did with your 3 children. And what you need to do is respect that while your son is still your son, he's also now someone's husband. And if we're going according to the word, his priority is actually now his wife.
It is no longer
and his
you.
family. It's
no longer you. And there are so many mother-in-laws who meddle. There are so many women who meddle in their sons' lives and destroy their relationships.
Yeah, it's a problem.
The poor young man probably can't even get married in many instances because of how you overreach into his life and try to micromanage. And I say it all the time, a big problem with a lot of women, especially single women, then they with their son.
That's a big part of it. Because the issue is you're a mother. In my opinion, if there was to be any balance struck, if there was to be any balance found, what would happen would be he spends the day with his wife, the mother of his children, and celebrates Mother's Day in the way that she would like. And maybe you no longer do a brunch, which you've done for 20 years. Maybe now you do a dinner. If there's to be any balance found in how the day is celebrated. Otherwise, what you're going to do is accept that, no, he can't come any at all because he's establishing new traditions, or maybe every other year you figure it out, or I don't know, but in my opinion...
Or you go over to her house, maybe. It depends. But you know, the other
with
thing
there being 3 children, though, that's trickier because all of them would have their own things established, right? So I can see where in her mind, she's probably saying, I'm the nucleus, and I will bring the family together.
Not necessarily.
It's not an automatic yes. She's so out of line.
Out of line.
Out of line and out of order.
And the thing is that it's clear that there's something that the man's wife is going through. Because I just want a quiet day. And you know, sometimes I've learned to listen over time. Sometimes you want to do something. I remember it was the first Mother's Day, and of course Jackson born April, so Mother's Day was
on the back of it.
And I remember I wanted to do something exciting. I wanted to do something big, and I said, Susan, what do you want to do? And she's like, I want a quiet day, a few people over. I want to do this, and I was like, what? And it's almost like you feel some type of way, and then you know what came to me? Is it that you're doing this for her, or you're doing it for you and your ego?
Is it your ego? Correct.
And me just plan the day in terms of how she wanted it, and that was Mother's Day, and it was one of the most memorable.
Yeah.
It was a great Mother's Day.
It was her first one, so of course it's going to be, and she got exactly what she needed at that time. But you said something there that I think is, mothers-in-law have to be really careful, very careful, not to make their sons their life partners. And obviously we're speaking from that lens because the lens is, the mic check is of a woman speaking of her son who now has a wife and children, right? And you said, Dennis, the problem is a lot of them, their son is their partner. And the truth is, that's the issue. The issue is you are looking for a husband and a life partner from your son. And your son has his own life and has his own wife and has his own partner. You can't get all up in your feelings when he's doing for her what he should be doing for her. You have to
I'm glad that he chose his wife, though. I'm glad he made that choice. And now he's in a position where he does not even want to talk to his mother. And you know what she said? I have a newfound hate for my daughter-in-law.
It was actually the first thing that came out of her mouth. The very first part of the statement, first sentence in the statement, newfound hate.
And which might suggest that she never liked her from the beginning.
In the first place.
You understand? Which means this power move that she makes is deliberate. Coming to like you, I mean, I show you, say, I'm me run this.
And what it does is it puts him in a predicament now where he's being have to be making a choice. Is it my mother or is it my wife? The mother of my children. My mother or my wife, the mother of my children. Why would you do that to your son?
It's horrible.
Love says you wouldn't do that to your son. You allow him to move forward and enter this new phase of his life without walking on eggshells, without the pressure of, you know, making a choice like that. Why would you do that? It's selfish. And
you wouldn't want a man in your life when you were that age who would be so easily manipulated by his mother. Cause no woman no want a man who an idiot like that.
If you wouldn't want yourself as a mother-in-law, why would you be that mother-in-law?
But guess what? So many people grow up and they become the thing that they hate.
Correct. Ironically.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Not cool. Not cool. I hope she gets therapy. And I hope he continues to stand up for his wife, the mother of his children. I hope that tradition
mash up and the picnic them, do them own thing for Mother's Day, occasionally bring her over, create a new tradition.
Correct.
You have a new family, create new traditions.
And you know what new tradition could be, Dennis? Get together the Saturday before Mother's Day, and then Mother's Day the children get to spend with the mothers of their children.
Exactly.
Create new traditions.
Rethink
Come on,
them.
Man. Rethink the thing. Anyhow, in other news, it's time for the morning news. So we're going to head on over to TK when we come back from these messages. Stay with us here on Sunrise.